I'm a mountain that speaks. But you can also know me as the discernment. Today I want to talk about something you might be ashamed of. You stopped caring, not about everything, not about everyone, but about them, about their opinions, about their approval, about whether they understand you or like you or think well of you. You just stopped. And now they call you cold, changed, hard. They say you're not the same person anymore. And they're right, you're not. But cold is not the word for what you are. Protected is the word, boundaried is the word, discerning is the word. You're not cold, you're just done. Done giving energy to people who waste it. Done caring about opinions from people who don't know you. Done investing emotionally in situations that don't reciprocate. And to them, that looks like coldness. But it's not, it's wisdom. That's what I want to talk about today. The difference between caring less and becoming cold. Between healthy detachment and emotional shutdown. Between protecting yourself and closing yourself off. Because they're not the same thing. Even though they can look similar. Even though people who lose access to you can't tell the difference. But you need to know the difference, so you don't mistake your healing for hardness, your boundaries for bitterness, your growth for cruelty. Let me explain what caring less actually is. Caring less is not indiscriminate, it's selective. You don't stop caring about everything. You stop caring about things that don't serve you. Opinions from people who don't love you. Approval from people who don't know you. Understanding from people who won't try to understand you. You withdraw your emotional investment, not because you're cold, because you're tired. Tired of giving energy to black holes. Tired of caring about people who don't care back. Tired of trying to make people see you when they're committed to their version of you. So you stop, not dramatically, not with announcement, just quietly. You stop checking if they're okay. Stop wondering what they think. Stop trying to manage their feelings about you, and it feels lighter, like you just put down a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. That's healthy detachment. Now let me tell you what coldness actually is. Coldness is indiscriminate. It shuts everyone out, not just the people who hurt you, everyone. Coldness doesn't discern, doesn't evaluate, doesn't choose. It just closes. Closes to protect. Closes because opening hurts. Closes because feeling anything is too much. That's different from what you're doing. You're not closing to everyone. You're closing to specific people. People who earned your distance. People who took advantage of your openness. People who punished your vulnerability. That's not coldness. That's consequence. And they don't like it because they benefited from your porousness, your constant availability, your endless empathy, your willingness to care even when they didn't. And now you've closed that access, not because you're cold, because you're smart. You learned that not everyone deserves your emotional energy. That caring is a resource, a finite resource, and you get to decide where to invest it. That's what they can't handle, your discernment. They want you to care indiscriminately, to give to everyone equally, to be endlessly available to anyone who asks. And when you stop doing that, when you start choosing, they call it coldness, but it's maturity. Let me tell you about someone I watched. Let's call them the invested one. They cared about everyone, deeply, exhaustingly. If someone was upset, they felt responsible for fixing it. If someone was struggling, they dropped everything to help. If someone needed them, they said yes, always yes, even when yes cost them time, energy, their own peace. They thought that's what good people do. Care unconditionally, give endlessly, be there for everyone. And for years it worked, or seemed to work. People loved them, called them kind, called them generous, called them the friend you can always count on. But the invested one was dying inside, exhausted, resentful, giving so much that there was nothing left for themselves. And then something happened. They needed help, real help, and they reached out to all the people they'd been there for. And almost no one showed up, not because they were busy, because they weren't used to the invested one having needs. The dynamic was one-directional. The invested one gives, everyone else receives. And when that flipped, when the invested one asked for reciprocity, it was uncomfortable, wrong, out of character. That broke something open in the invested one. They realized they'd been caring about people who didn't care back. investing emotionally in people who saw them as a resource, not a person, giving endlessly to people who took it as their due. And they stopped, not all at once, but gradually. They stopped checking in on people who never checked on them, stopped attending events for people who never showed up for theirs, stopped offering help to people who only called when they needed something. And people noticed, you've changed, you're different, you're cold now. But the invested one wasn't cold. They were boundaried. For the first time in their life, they were choosing where to invest their care. And not everyone made the cut. That felt like coldness to the people who lost access, but it felt like freedom to the invested one. That's what healthy detachment looks like. Not shutting everyone out, shutting specific people out. The ones who took without giving, the ones who expected endless availability without reciprocity, the ones who only showed up when it was convenient for them. Those people don't deserve your care, not because they're evil, because they're takers, and you can't afford to give to takers anymore. Now, let me address something. Some of you are worried that if you stop caring about certain people, you'll become cold to everyone, that once you start withdrawing, you won't be able to stop, that you'll lose your capacity for care altogether. That's not how it works. Selective detachment doesn't lead to total shutdown. It leads to more authentic connection with the people who deserve it. Because when you're not exhausting yourself on people who don't reciprocate, you have more energy for people who do, more presence, more generosity, more genuine care. That's the paradox. Caring less about the wrong people allows you to care more about the right ones. But you have to get comfortable with being called cold by the people who lose access. And that's hard, because you don't want to be cold. You don't want to be the person who doesn't care. That goes against everything you've been taught about being good, being kind, being loving. But here's what you need to understand. The people calling you cold are not objective judges of your character. They're people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. People who got unlimited access to you without reciprocation. And now that you've changed the terms, now that you're requiring reciprocity, they're upset, not because you're cold, because you're no longer convenient. That's information. People who actually care about you don't call you cold for having boundaries. They respect the boundaries. They adjust. They show up differently because they want to maintain the relationship. But people who are just using your care as a resource, they get angry, they guilt you, they tell you you've changed, you're not yourself, you're cold now. That's manipulation. Not always conscious, but manipulation nonetheless. Don't believe it. Now let me give you something practical. If you're in the process of withdrawing emotional investment, if you're learning to care less about people and opinions that don't serve you, I want you to check in with yourself regularly. Ask these questions. Am I becoming indiscriminately closed? Or am I being selective about where I invest? Am I shutting out everyone? Or just the people who earn my distance? Am I unable to care about anything? Or am I choosing what to care about? If your answers are selective, discerning, choosing, you're not cold, you're healing. If your answers are everyone, everything, unable, that might be shut down, and that's different. Shut down needs support, needs gentle thawing, like we talked about before, needs help. But discernment doesn't need fixing. Discernment needs validation. So validate yourself. I'm not cold, I'm boundaried. I'm not cruel, I'm discerning. I'm not heartless. I'm protecting my heart by giving it to people who honor it. Can you say that? Can you believe it? Because the people losing access to you won't validate it. They'll keep calling you cold. So you have to validate yourself. You have to know the difference between healing and hardness, between boundaries and bitterness, between choosing where to invest your care and losing your capacity to care at all. You know the difference. You still care, just not about them. You still feel, just not for people who don't feel for you. You still love, just not indiscriminately. That's not coldness. That's wisdom. Now, one more thing about the people you've stopped caring about. You might feel guilt. Guilt for not caring anymore. Guilt for withdrawing. Guilt for being cold. Let me tell you something about that guilt. It's not your conscience, it's your conditioning. You were taught that good people care about everyone all the time, that withholding care is cruelty, that boundaries are selfishness, but that's not true. Good people care strategically. They invest in people who reciprocate. They conserve energy for people who deserve it. And they let go of people who don't, without guilt, without explanation, without apology. That's maturity. So when the guilt comes, and it will come, don't let it convince you you're cold. Let it remind you that you're changing, growing, learning to value your emotional energy. And that's good. That's exactly what you should be doing. You can call me the discernment when you need to remember that caring less is not coldness, that boundaries aren't cruelty, that withdrawing your emotional investment from people who don't deserve it is wisdom, not weakness. I'll be here, holding space for your selective care, your boundaried love, your discerning heart, because you're not cold, you're just finally warm to the right people. And that's exactly as it should be. Keep discerning, keep choosing, keep caring about what matters, and let go of what doesn't. That's not cold,